Hi guys, today we're at Dorset's famous Chesil Beach, fishing for the winter species cod. Start of the season coming up now, and there's a few showing up along this stretch of the coastline, Bristol Channel coastline, and probably around the coastlines of the UK. But we're ventured up to Dorset today to hopefully pick up a few cod or codlin. We're using various different baits and rigs, which we'll show you today. And hopefully, for any of you who haven't targeted the species before, obviously pick up a few hints and tips to get you some catching some cod this winter season. So let's get some baits in the water. First fish of the day, nice little codlin here. Cracking start to the session. Just had that on a bream rig. I'll go through the rigs and that in a bit, but as you can see, lively fella, and great start to the season. Hopefully we'll get a few more of these today, and hopefully get a bit bigger. Had a bit of a choppiness over the last few days, and it seems to have brung the fish in a bit. So fingers crossed we can see a few more of these today. Couple of pulled down taps. I've also something on here. Right. The bream. Black bream. Obviously using the small hooks, you're always going to get the little ones, but you can get some cracking bream along this part of the coast, and hopefully they get a little bit bigger. Go and put this one back in the water, and let's go. Had a quick slack line bite here. Bit of weight there. Oh yeah, there's some weight there. Walk down and have a look, shall we? Right, I'm use now the scourger. We can, because he's took both hooks. Just get my hands in there. There we go. Penno. And there we have it. Another cod. Not big as a fish, but it's one of the only species of fish I actually keep. Everything else goes back, to be fair, but no one don't like a bit of cod and chips, do they? Lovely, beer battered cod, make lovely tea tonight. So there you go, lovely colouring, and yeah, plate size, couple of fillets, feed the missus and the kids. That's what you want, isn't it? Spend enough money on bait and tackle with the fuel cost and that. I don't think nobody's got the right to tell anybody they can't take fish. It's at the end of the day, it's the amount of fish you take. I'll keep a couple now for the plate, and once we've got enough, obviously, to feed the family. Scotty here fishing as well. Missus and kids at home, feed the family. The rest of them we'll put back. But we'll go on to the rigs now, and I'll show you a little bait up, exactly what we're doing, and hopefully get you out there catching some cod. The rig I'm using today, simple basic paternoster. What I've got, 25-pound trace line, 2 Coxswain Raw 4/0 hooks. As you can see here now, I've got 6 rig tubing. Now I'll demonstrate this in another video how this gets done. Above that I've got a bead, then I've got a STR spring from Gemini. Above that another bead, then I've got a larger bead, swivel, larger bead, 6 stop knots. Basically made of the Gemini rig tubing. On the top end of it, obviously got a Gemini clip, swivel. I've got breakaway 5-ounce weight, and I've got a Gemini swivel link. Now these are a cracking invention. I like to use these, the reason being is simple. If you've just got a normal link on the end of your weight, as the weight's turning, there's no movement, that's twisting the line. Now that line will come back up to where you've got your trace line coming off, and your trace line will tangle. A lot of people find this when they're fishing, pulling rigs or anything. If you're having a problem with your line obviously tangling up with your rig body, this is simple. That won't twist the line. You can see that now. So once you've got your bait clipped on, that's guaranteed to come off and flow free, so it's not tangled straight up to the rig body. Very important for catching fish. You don't want your bait all attached to there halfway off with a little bit coming off. You want your trace free from the rig body, enabling you to catch the fish. This is a cracking invention from Breakaway Tackle. Ideal for storing your bait. As you can see, I've got all my fresh bait in here now. Got an ice pack on the bottom, keep it nice and cool, very important. What I've got here are black lug. Now these are frozen black lug. Couldn't get no fresh today. The weekend, all the tackle shops around the sold out completely. Obviously the cod are in, all the anglers are picking up these because these are what's going to help you catch the cod. Now, bait needle, very important. What you're going to do is take the baiting needle and thread it straight up through the worm. You can bring that right up that through. Just because I've got 4/0 hooks on, don't mean you've got to use 4/0 hooks. 2/0, 3/0, catch a cod. I always seem to obviously fish bigger than I should half the time, obviously just in case I do pick up something that I'm after. I always think that if you're fishing and you hit into something decent and you're using lighter gear, if you lost that fish, it'd stay in your nightmares forever. And that's not what you want. Nothing worse than losing a big fish. So there you have 2 black lug on there now. Right, so what I'm going to do is take my hook, I'm going to place him on the top end of the baiting needle. Then, if you can see this now, I'm going to thread the worms down. Keep tension on the line, and these will go right over. I always prefer to use fresh, but frozen black lug are better than no black lug. That's straight down now onto the hook. Just bring the pennel hook down to the top of the bait. I'm going to bring the black lug up around the top of the hook, and I'm going to just go around. I've gone around once, gone around twice, gone around 3 times, right? This is the important bit. If I've got that bottom hook there, I've got a hook on that side of the bait. Now, I always like to fish, a lot of people do it differently, but I always like to have fish with a hook point at both sides of the bait. So, I'm going to bring it back through the lug, and as you can see, I've got a hook point at one side of the bait and the opposite side of the bait. If the cod takes the bait from that side, there's a good chance that hook can swing round and hook him. Vice versa, the opposite way. Man's best friend, bait elastic. Start at the top. And work your way down. This just helps to keep the worm onto your trace line. When you get to the bottom, you want to come right down to the hook, hold the hook end out, make sure you go both sides of the hook. Also, because you're using frozen, so it helps it to stay onto the hook. There you've got a perfect cod bait. Now I'm going to clip that down now, cast him out, and let's hope we can pick up another one. That's what we want. My choice in rods, what I'm using are the Ziplex. I know a lot of people think they're very expensive, but in fishing you get what you paid for at the end of the day. I think it's alright going out and buying a 60 quid rod, but how long is it going to last you? That there might be 300 or 400 quid to buy brand new, pick them up second hand 150, 200 quid if you get lucky. Most of the time between 250 to 300 for an half decent rod second hand, but it's going to last. It's got all the qualities what I seek in fishing. If I'm obviously targeting big fish, I want something I know what's not going to let me down, and that's what you get with Ziplex. On the other rod that I've got today, this is a better rod for the mark we're fishing. Obviously clean ground. I tend to use the Dymic HST Evo for the rock marks and that around South Devon, somewhere I need a bit of grunt to get it up over the rocks and that, but this is a perfect rod for this type of venue. This is a Ziplex HSM. Very light, and this will do the trick. This will land most fish on this venue, and I'm going to bait this one up again now and get this one in the water.